Hey all, I got to hang out with the great Dwayne Cunningham again, and as we were just shooting the breeze, we decided to hit record so that maybe our conversations can be helpful to you. So these are some of the conversations in this series of me and Dwayne, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope it's helpful in your Splinterlands journey. I would also love to get your thoughts as a higher level player than me when you're thinking about holding cards long term. You know, I think there's two ways you could think about it. As you said earlier, what are all the, bronze, silver, gold players needing for that level 1 card that, thousands and thousands of people are going to be targeting that one level 1 card? Or, as a higher level player, you probably also experience and know, what are those top level cards that are necessary to win? Which, for me, I'm only playing with mostly level 1 cards, so I don't get that experience. So do you approach it more so as I want to hold on to those, look for those cards that lower level players need because there's going to be more of them? Or also at higher leagues, less people need them, right? But you need whatever, 100, 200, 400 copies of this card. How do you think about that?
I take both of those for sure, because I play at a diamond or a champion level, and last season I finished champion 3, and I want to always be at the highest level of competitiveness. If I had more time without, aside from YouTube and whatnot, I would be shooting for Champ 1, and I'd be trying to build a deck that was available to get me there. And that side of investment is particularly profitable from the rental side because those cards are so rare. You're right. Like, to have a maxed out copy of a card is, especially the older those cards are, it's exceedingly rare. And that's why you see some card like Yodin or whatever, or, Lord of Darkness, they rent for hundreds of DEC per day at the end of the season. And so, like, I just rented, so a bit of a tangent, but I'm renting at the end of my season when I feel I've reached my pinnacle of where I want to get. I made it to Champion 3 and I immediately rented all my cards. Not all of my, I had to keep 500,000 power, but I rented 700 or 900,000 power, and I got, I think, 17,000 DEC for one day.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that just goes back to your question. I'm doing both. One is I'm building a deck that will compete at a high level, and I'm utilizing those assets as maximally effectively as I can, both in playing as well as in tournaments sometimes, and lastly by renting at certain key moments. But then I'm also doing what your other part of your question was, which is accumulating assets that will be helpful at silver or bronze, because those are resales. I want to keep those at low BCX, 1, 5, 10 BCX in a card, with the vision for long-term resale. And I've just seen it too many times where they appreciate. So I definitely want to have like 200 copies, maybe 1,000 copies of every one of those cheap reward cards. And the same will be true for the new Chaos Legion cards, because there's going to be 5 or 10 new Chaos Legion cards that everybody thinks are dumb, and they're going to be giving them away, and I'll be buying them just like I've been buying the Heath Smith and you know what happens? Those cards that are underpowered, the developers know which cards are underpowered. They know which ones have a high win rate and which ones have a low win rate. They consider these things, and they try to blend the abilities, they try to create new abilities or new monsters that will synergize, that will open up new opportunities to create utility in those older cards. So if you think that like a certain card is really terrible, understand that there's going to be an evolution of the deck, and that thing is going to find new utility, especially if it's really, really inexpensive, but it has a role. Those are cards that I love buying.
Yeah. No, and I think as a low-level player, that's why I honestly push people to watch you as well and other higher-level players, because us low-level players, we don't generally think about those cards and what's important when they are maxed out, because we just see as you're saying, the Pelacor Conjurer that's 15 cents or whatever right now, and you're like, 2 mana, 4 health, whatever, that's kind of lame. But, you combine that up enough levels, and it has whatever, I don't remember the stats off the top of my head, 6 HP and Magic Reflect and all that stuff. And all of a sudden it becomes more valuable to higher level players. And I think that's what's kind of cool about this YouTube Splinterlands community, is everyone's got their own different viewpoints based on where they're playing and where the community is at. And that's something I want to get better as a low level player, is recognizing not just the value of the card at level 1, but what is the level value, at silver, at gold, at diamond, all that stuff, because it is important to the value of the card to think about the whole picture, which is not easy to do.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.